We have the highest transfer tax.
Well, we do have a transfer tax, but I would say to you, it's more than offset by the amount of difference in impact fee.
I would just say that we have a budget that already covers these fees. We do not need to artificially increase this excise tax right now. We don't have the costs that justify this increase. We could keep it at the current impact fee area, and we would be perfectly fine in our budget.
Is there a way that we can maybe, I don't know, bring this back next session and look at some different numbers, see what the numbers are going to play out at some different levels of this 70%, maybe 50%, so we can see where that's going to fall?
I think we've already done.
Been there and done, yeah.
Look,
We've been through that through a consultant and everything.
This thing to death, but we got to make a decision.
I think we need to make a decision on this today, and
I'd like to incorporate it into the revenue.
Exactly.
And reduce bonds. We could reduce bonds in the current CIP.
That's the key, reduce debt.
All right, well, I move to adopt the proposed ordinance to establish an excise tax at a 70% reduction from the study's recommended level by enacting Chapter 267-81 through 267-91 of the Code of St. Mary's County, Maryland.
Do I hear a second? Motion is dead.
I move to adopt the proposed ordinance to establish an excise tax by enacting Chapter 267-81 through 267-91 of the Code of St. Mary's County, Maryland.
Do I have a second?
Second, but I'd like some more discussion on it.
Okay.
Discussion. We heard from over 500 people, almost 600 people who told us not to raise this. That's a pretty clear mandate from the people.
It is.
But I think
would
what
think
we
the
also
people were
heard was
confused,
don't
too.
raise the property tax 3%, keep the constant yield.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, that ship has sailed too. I mean, unless we figure out a way to come up. But again, it's easier to go down than it is to go up. And I don't know how you ignore.
Yeah, I don't want to get 2 years down the road and find out that, we didn't look forward enough and we weren't forward leaning enough and now, we got to raise them again. That's just going to piss me off.
I can't support raising a tax before the costs are there for that tax. We have it budgeted right now. We have every CIP project from the schools in there now. So the school roofs are going to be fixed. We have the funding now. We can do it at a 70% rate and still make our budget.
Say we have the funding without this tax
Yeah. We have a balanced budget.
coming forward next
Yeah.
5-6 years.
Yeah.
Without raising this tax at all.
Correct.
Is that true?
That's true.
Wow.
But does debt service go up over the next 5 or 6 years?
It does.
Absolutely, and it's going
Yes.
to continue to grow up.
Yes.
Yes.
And the thing is if we leave it the way it is, we're going to have to look for revenues somewhere.
And the debt service is paid in the general fund.
Yes.
In the general fund, as I said last week, 88% of the revenue for the general fund comes from property tax and income tax.
And the reality is this goes away July 1.
Right.
So,
Right.
So here's the problem, Eric, or Commissioner Covin, I'm sorry, sir. Here's the problem. I mean, if we got to pay for this somehow. So
Right.
as the debt goes up, what are we going to do if we don't adopt this? We're going to tell.
So I'm not saying don't adopt this.
Budgets?
I'm saying adopt this at what our current impact fee rates are. And it's still an increase because it would be including commercial in there too. And we can move forward, and we have a balanced budget 5 years out right now as things sit. And we build each budget each year as we come to it. I think I've made my argument. I'm done selling it here, so we can vote.
I'd say
Commissioner
call the
Alderson, what are your
question.
thoughts?
I hate to play the middle guy, But, this is also about, we have to come up with a decision that's going to help the county overall, not put any more of a burden on anybody. Personally, when HB 528 was enacted in 2021, the impact fee at the time was $67.56, and now we're down to less than 2,000,
19, yeah, and change.
Something.
19 and change.
Like 1977 or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. And again, that's because of the change in the calculation with
Yes.
removing no schools.
Because we're removing school, that's something that I ran into this weekend, where I had people who did not understand that money for school budget, school building was not coming out, but the
Right.
money was, and we were all crooked because the money was going somewhere, even though these are people who weren't building new homes. I'd like to see us go in between full-on and Commissioner Ostro's, Commissioner Colvin's proposal. I'd like to maybe do 50% and then scale it in if we have to, even though it's going to look bad. Either way, it's going to look bad. We're either ripping the Band-Aid off now, or we're slowly pulling hairs as we're pulling the Band-Aid off. But I appreciate the fact that the debt service is going to go up, and we have $56 million in new bond authority that will also be floating out there. And is that 56 million part of that debt service that's in the out years?
The 56 million,
The recently passed total.
right, it's all included.
It's all included?
Oh, the new bond authority.
Yeah, the new bond authority.
Right, that'll be used probably in 2 years.
In 2 years.
But that'll be incorporated also, yes.
So that'll add to the debt service in
Right,
the out years.
right.
So we either do something today, or 2 years later, we're sitting here beating our heads against the same wall.
Yeah.
Commissioner President Guy, we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Okay. We have any more discussion? Anybody?
Nope.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
No.
No, I'm going to vote aye. Let's just get it over with.
Okay, I have 3 ayes and 2 noes. Decision made.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for the fair discussion, though. It was disagreed, but still a fair discussion.